respuestas que ustedes están viendo ahora en el chat.
Okay.
Sí, eso es lo que les responde. El resumen que les acabo de dar es lo que dice está en el chat ahora. Okay, Dennis. Thanks.
Okay.
You can go.
So to continue with this question, when evaluating a particular technology, we also have to consider the different ways in which the technology could be used. So systems like Moodle and SLoodle are very flexible. The tutor, the person who's creating the course, has a lot of power and choice. So what they choose to do with the tools will affect how useful it is for students and how it helps students complete the course and how students enjoy the course. So how a tutor chooses to use the tools will affect the students. So, okay.
Oh, do you want me to translate that? Will you summarize that and I can translate that so that we can work together? You know, some people get some translators and they can read what you are writing on the chat, but some others are just listening.
Okay, so yes, I've put it into the chat already. That I'll actually put the next part of the answer in chat as well. So I think to answer these difficult questions, we need to set up trials with representative numbers of students and try to create ways in which we can compare different use of technology, different uses, while changing as little as possible, just to see what the impact is. So in learning sciences in general, trials are not simple to set up or conduct, but they are important to answer this kind of question in particular. And this is actually very good news if you're a researcher. So if you're not someone who so much in teaching, but if you're in research, this is great news because we don't have an answer, and any answers we have are going to require a lot of research and a lot of testing under different conditions and in different courses and different subjects. So there is research to be done, and potentially an awful lot of it.
Ok, entonces chicos, no es fácil responder la pregunta porque la herramienta todavía no ha sido probada en diferentes condiciones. Entonces no se puede dar una respuesta de que sí, la herramienta funciona porque depende de muchos factores. Por ejemplo, el uso que le den los profesores, el educador, el diseñador del curso a la herramienta. Y tendría que estar, probarla cada vez que se utiliza la herramienta se aprende algo con eso, ¿no? Y todavía no tienen las investigaciones hechas al respecto. Okay, Danny, you can go ahead now.
Okay. So finally here on this, still in first question, not all have such long answers. For myself, in the last couple of years, I've been able to participate with pilot studies, so smaller studies with small numbers of students. These don't have the statistical power to be able to give a definitive answer, but can be useful in finding possible problems or interesting issues for further research. I'm going to look at a URL here. My most recent pilot was part of JISC JISC funded project.
Do you have the URL?
I'm just getting it.
Okay. Él va a publicar un enlace donde pueden ver un estudio piloto que se ha hecho recientemente con el uso de la herramienta SLoodle. para ver el estudio piloto.
And this details some of the things we found with pilot groups in engineering, computing and medicine, with role play and other exercises.
Ok, estos son unos estudios que se hicieron con ingeniería y con medicina y estuvieron basados en juegos de roles.
So the engineering, we're using sort of learning environments where we were using the Moodle website and SLoodle in-world tools to provide sort of a guide to the learning, to provide sort of guides to students and to see, does that help people? So one of the things we did find is we're starting to really explore is, we know that the likes of Second Life can be very confusing and disorienting for students, and just finding ways in which SLoodle and Moodle can help people find their way around, help people keep track of what they're doing and how to do it, and to try and help learners focus on the learning activities and not get distracted by the wonderful 3D exploration and complicated navigation of Second Life.
Ok. Lo que hace SLoodle es darle una guía al estudiante, ¿okay? Al ofrecerle un poquito de estructura, ya que el participar en los mundos virtuales tiene muchas cosas que nos distrae y es complicado. Mientras empezamos a caminar, a cambiarnos la ropa, a sentarnos y todas estas cosas, eso hace que cada uno se distraiga mucho. El SLoodle lo que hace es darle estructura, guías para que la gente no se pierda.
So this was the second question. Which tools enhance knowledge construction? And it's a very short answer because I think in a way it's an even trickier thing to say, is because it depends. It depends on how the tools are used. And as someone who involved in developing some of the tools, I've been very surprised in a number of times to see what people have actually done with these. And this kind of applies to the next question as well. So, don't know if you want to translate, because this is also into the next
Yes,
question.
está en el chat, pero vamos a traducirlo para las personas que no tengan el traductor, ¿ok? La segunda pregunta que le hicieron a Daniel era cuáles de estas herramientas son las que ayudan a mejorar la construcción del conocimiento. Él dice que esta es una respuesta un poco difícil también y tricky de contestar y dificultosa y tramposa de contestar, porque va a depender de cómo se utilice la herramienta, ¿no? Y el que utiliza la herramienta es el educador en lo bien que esté preparado en la parte pedagógica, ¿no? Y de diseño. Pero él va a Y la siguiente pregunta es cómo se puede utilizar el SLoodle para el intercambio social, para interactuar con la gente, o solamente para chatear o en foros. Okay, Danny, you can go back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, I think one of the first uses of SLoodle that really surprised me was an exercise built in a class that was teaching English as a second language. So it was and they created a virtual cultural exchange between two groups of students. One group of students in Dubai, one group of students in South Korea. The students met first online in Moodle using forums, then using video that they would upload, and then finally they met in Second Life. And SLoodle was used to support this in a number of ways when they finally got to Second Life. So Second Life freebie items, so gifts for the students, were put in SLoodle distributor boxes, so to make it easy for students to get the items. And this was a long time ago, so there wasn't much to SLoodle at the time, but they made heavy use of the chat intercom to record the typed chat between both groups of students. But the whole course was all about meeting and talking, so there was a lot of social exchange and a lot of interplay between people. So it was all about the interplay between people.
Ok, le está contando la experiencia de dos grupos de estudiantes, uno que estaba en Dubái y otro que estaba en Corea, estudiantes de inglés como segunda lengua. Yo, que soy profesora de inglés, les puedo decir que Second Life y ahora con el uso de SLoodle para ponerlo con Moodle es una herramienta espectacular para la relación, ¿verdad? Para poder conversar y la interacción social. Y en este caso la interacción se dio a través de los foros y los chats. En aquel tiempo que se hizo esto no había lo que hay ahora. Ahora tenemos más herramientas, ¿no? Pero sí fue una situación exitosa. Okay, David, back to you.
Okay. Just a second.
Was that Van Stevens in Abu Dhabi? Or that was Dubai?
I can't remember who was
Was he the wet
the partner
head?
in Abu Dhabi. It was Chris Surridge, was in South Korea.
Oh, Chris. Yeah.
Chris Surridge, and I'll say a little bit more. So it was the Dubai Women's College and a group of students in South Korea. The students within the South Korea group certainly used the chat archive. So from using the web intercom, they were able to reread what they had said in Second Life, what they had typed in Second Life, to review the conversations with more time to reflect and perhaps make use of dictionaries to help understand anything that they didn't understand at the time. So even something as basic as a chat room archive was a useful tool for knowledge construction in that setting for that class, which was not a use I had imagined for the chat room archive. I hadn't thought of it being used in that particular way. This was all developed as part of the